So carrying on with the next flower, the one I wanted to show you in this demonstration is the September Aster. Now this is what I'm going to be showing you how to put together and build. Now it's completely down to you in which way you want to colour these. I'm going to do them in the signature purple lilac shade that you see them in, but of course it's entirely up to you however you want to interpret these flowers. But you can see here, this is exactly what you're going to get in this die set. So you've got all the different sizes. Now you can build these up in layers if you wanted to make maybe one with a bit more depth, so you can see the flowers getting smaller towards the centre. But when I looked up at pictures of asters and ones that I've seen as well, they're quite singular in their petals, so they've not got a thorough amount of petals in there. They're quite delicate and dainty looking, almost like a daisy. So I'm going to show you exactly how we can get started with this one. So I have the die set here down in front of me, and the ones I chose to use for this is the largest I have on my die set and also the smallest. Now this will work as the centre, and this is going to be the single set of petals. Now if I move these over, I can show you exactly what I've cut already. I've cut two, as you can see here. If I put them onto my hand, you can see I've got two I've cut in foam, in lilac. It's completely down to you which shade you use. I've chosen a really pale purple for this. So I've got the two there. Then I've also cut three of that super small centre. Now that could actually be a flower itself. So think about making this into a small flower or maybe a dandelion head. But with this one, I've cut three of them out so I can get a little bit of depth to the centre of my flower. So this is a really quick one to construct. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. What we're going to do first is take some of our Fleurs wire. Okay, I'm going to snip probably about a 4-inch section of this because I don't need a great deal. Of course, if you wanted to make arrangement or a spray of these, you might want them to be slightly longer than one another. But for this particular project, I'm going to show you exactly how just to assemble the petals themselves. Okay, so I've got my Fleurs Form foaming mat, and what I've actually got here is I use both sides of it. I use one side actually to shape on with my ball tool, and the other side I use to pierce through my foam. So I'm not spoiling either side. I'm keeping one fresh for shaping and one here for piercing. Now you could do it onto polystyrene if you didn't want to pierce into your foam mat. So what I'm going to do first is taking some pliers or tweezers, I'm going to actually curl the end of my wire over. Okay, and what I tend to do is cut all my petals first and then start assembling. So I'd work out how many I want per flower, and then I would cut them all, get them lined up. You can ink them or colour them with your pastels if you want to, but I'm going to go straight in here just with the foam as it is. So down in the centre of this small one, all I'm going to do is take my wire, push it down into it like that, and it pierces straight through. So you can see there, that has now pierced through that flower. And I'm going to push it straight up to the top, all the way up. And then using the Kit and Caboodle cordless glue gun, I'm going to take some hot glue, and you need a really small amount because it grips really quickly. And I'm going to push this all the way to the top. And as I've pushed it to the top, I'm going to just pinch it ever so slightly. Now what that's doing is the heat from the glue is automatically making the foam mould, so it begins easier to shape. But then it's going to keep that shape. So I've utched it all the way up to the top, and you can see there we have like a really tiny, teeny flower. So I'm going to move on to my next one. So straight down, pierce it through, and then as I push the next one up, I'm adding a little bit of glue underneath that first petal we put down. Push it all the way up. Now I'm going to shape it ever so slightly, but not as tight as the first one. So what it's going to do is be more fanned out and open. So that means it almost looks like as the flower started to bud, we've got a graduation of petals that are actually opening on there. And the next one, so we've got 3 in total. I'm going to leave this one almost flat on here. So a tiny bit more glue on here, and only a small amount. And as I push up, I'm going to sort of nip my 2 fingernails together. And what that does is it presses the centre of the petal up, meaning that some of these will then actually point downwards. So it gets the sort of impression that the bottom layer has maybe started to wilt, or these ones flowered first, meaning they're starting to curl up a little bit. So that's the centre of your flower already made, super quick and easy. And the green from the floristry wire in the top here with that bit of glue acts like that sort of very minimalist centre that you get right in the middle of the flower, which is like really tightly knit together. So we've already got that illusion created for you. The next one that I'm working into is that largest flower we have on there, the petal set. So I've cut 2 of this one here on my die set. So I'm going to go straight down into the middle of that one again. Push it straight up. Now this is just how easy and straightforward it is to create these super quick as well. So maybe if you've wrapped a present or you've got a gift tag and you want to add a little decoration on there, these are a go-to for adding something really quick. Or maybe just making a set of 6 to add to a headband. Really, really inexpensive because they use such little amount of foam as well. So I've got one on there already, and then I'm going to add just one more. So piercing down into the middle, and sometimes I sort of swivel the wire ever so slightly. So as it's going through, it pierces it super quick. Slide it straight up the stem, add in a little bit of hot glue just onto the base of that. And then what I'm going to do is, as I'm lining it up, I'm going to alternate it. So I've got one falling on every other side of the petal. And again, I'm nipping it like that. So you can see there, my nail and fingernails, I'm going to pinch together, push up. And as I do that, it actually pushes the bottom set away. So that is one of the asters made there. Really, really easy. And then of course, they are single stem flowers, but if you wanted to, you could link them together. So you can see I've done a set there. We've got 4 in all the different sizes. So as we look at our die set, you can see we have all these different sizes of aster flowers. You can make them in that arrangement. So lots to do. And then of course, going with your inks, your sprays, completely change the dynamic of these flowers. Super easy, but so effective and realistic at the same time. So that is how to make your September aster flower. Join me for the next one.